This is Nico, and in just 7 days, we added 14 feet of distance to his hits. And if you give me the next 10 minutes, I'll show you the one thing we focused on to make that happen so you can copy it too. Hi, I'm former MLB player Jermaine Curtis, and I help hitters hit harder, farther, and stand out by turning singles into doubles and doubles into home runs. So now let me give you a little bit more context about how I met Nico and his father. So they first watched my video, how to hit your first or next home run, which if you haven't seen it, I'll put the video below so that you can watch it. But they watched that video, scheduled a time to talk with me, and then they joined my 100X Power program, which is to help Nico hit his first home run. And in order to do that, we need to get baseline exit velocity numbers. So you can see here that his dad ended up doing it, and that's a terrible line. But you can see here, that's another terrible line. So you can see the exit velos there, and then you can see this is his baseline number. So we ended up getting 43 as his average speed, but you'll see a few days later, a week later, that he ended up at 45 miles per hour. Okay, so that's a big deal because for every 1 mile per hour increase, that is 7 feet of distance. So if he has 2 miles per hour, that's 14 feet. Now that's the difference between a ball being a fly out and one getting over the outfielder's head. Or let's say you get jammed, and usually it would be in the infield, but that lands now between the outfielders and the infielders for a base hit. And then additionally, it allows you to start hitting the ball harder. So those ground balls that would normally end up being out ends up finding holes, and now you just feel more confident. So this right here is a huge improvement in just 7 days, and it's starting to translate into his game, and I'll show you that in a clip a little bit later. So with that being said, what did we do? Now let me erase all this. So you'll see here it's a simple two-step framework. Okay, and the first one, step one, is train explosion. And what we're doing here is trying to generate explosive force. And we do this with medicine balls. And we're focusing on three things: the core, the hips, and the obliques. Now let's talk about each one. Okay, so the core. We train the core to stabilize and fire during rotation. And this is important because a lot of players, they leak power because they're not activating their core as they swing. So we want to really start to implement that, and we do that through medicine balls. We basically mimic the behavior of hitting, and we use those medicine balls to really get the core firing. Now the next thing we do is we use the hips. The hips are important because we use the ground force to drive through the hips and not just use your hands. So a lot of players, they get real handsy with their swing, and when you use a medicine ball and you use your hips correctly, you'll start using the ground to create energy. That energy goes all the way up through the body as a hitter and then releases when you basically throw the barrel to the ball. And that's how you get those power gains. Now the last thing is the obliques. The obliques, they connect the core and the hips so that you can rotate faster and be able to basically unleash and whip the barrel. So they're very important. Now the next thing we're doing, and you can see it over here, is we're activating rotation. Because the truth is, if your hips and your spine can't rotate fast, and you're not going to be able to launch the ball as hard and as far as you want. So we use med ball throws to force the body to rotate with intent. And what that does is it unlocks power that's been trapped. And you can see here, he's starting to rotate quicker and faster, right? You can see that bat speed starting to increase because of how he's moving, how his spine, how his body is moving, and those numbers are starting to jump up. And it's only going to start trending upwards even more. And this is how we're able to close that home run gap so he can hit his doubles. And first we got to get to the double stage, and then he'll be able to hit those home runs. And so that right there is what we're doing, and it's starting to already show up. And I'll show you. You can see here on the left hand side him when he first started in the program. You can see here this is what he's basically were doing, was hitting a lot of ground balls, rolling over pitches, and he was pretty frustrated by that. And you can see here, here's difference. I know this pitch was a little bit more up, but he's now being able to drive the baseball to the outfield. Now we have, a lot of work to do, so he can hit that first home run, but he's now getting the ball to the outfield. And I'm going to show you a message from his dad right now that confirms this. So before this, his dad said he's been hitting the ball hard. And I was like, did you happen to record it? And was it hit pretty hard? His dad says, we'll check. He is hitting pretty hard these days. I would say 75% are in the outfield. I said, perfect. We are trending upwards. Let me know if you recorded his double. I want to share it. So you can see here, now he's driving the baseball a little bit farther than before. He's able to hit a double, and I was able to get the video, and I'll share with you soon. But you can see here, just being able to add 14 feet of distance to his hits is allowing him now to hit the ball to the outfield, which will give him more chances of hitting those doubles. We're still far away from him being able to hit a home run, his first ever, but we will get there over time by working hard and by staying the course. So with that being said, if you want to get results like this, add 14 feet of distance or even more to your hits, I recommend you schedule a time to talk, and we'll talk about your goals and what you would like to accomplish. And then we'll put a plan together so that you're able to start getting those results as well. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.